I'm currently working on building an HTML page based on a layered Photoshop design comp. So this is the design comp that we used in class. It's a layered Photoshop file. You can see all of my layers over here, and you can see how I've got things grouped into sections and so forth, just to try and work with my organization. And I'm at the point, well, let's see, let's flip over to Dreamweaver. Here's the page I'm working on in Dreamweaver. So you can see that I have some of my layout going. And I need to go get the logo file and drop it into place here. Just because I've got a lot of my layout ready, I'm ready for the logo. So I wanted to show you probably the easiest way to get to that. In Photoshop, you have to be actually on the layer that you want to work with. And there's my logo layer there. One of the ways I like to work, though, I want to show you this, is I like to use the right click and click over areas. So if I right click right here, you can see that these are the layers right under that point. So in this case, I want the logo here, so I'm going to right click right there, and you see there's logo. Then there's layer 1, which happens to be my teal background. I didn't label it, but there's a good argument for labeling them. So I'm going to click on the logo layer right there, and now I can actually get that image. I can copy that image there. One of my favorite ways of doing it is I'm going to come up and grab a selection tool. I'm just going to grab the marquee tool here. Now I can click in here and I could, surround it and copy or something like that. Sorry about that. But one of the ways I like to go is look over at the layer where I'm at, and you see that it has this thumbnail image right here. And when I hold down the command key, you see how my cursor changes? So it adds the little marching ants to it. So when I do a command click on that right there, you'll see that it selected the logo. So command click on that thumbnail selects everything on the layer. So I find that to be one of the easiest ways to get that out. So I'm going to go up and say copy now. Actually, before I go drop it in, let's do a quick review of file formats, which is what we're covering in class this week. Because we talked about JPEGs and GIF files and PNG files. And just as a reminder, JPEGs are best for photographic images or tonal ones. They may have gradients. GIF files are good just for solid or flat colors. And then the PNG file is good for everything, but it makes a larger file size, so I don't always go for it. But the one thing that it excels at that I can't do with the other two is transparency. So my rule of thumb is if it's photographic in nature, I go JPEG. If it's just a solid color or solid colors, I use a GIF file. And if there's any transparency at all, just go ahead and go for, it's called PNG 24. Okay, since my logo is just black and white, it's two solid colors, I'm going to use a GIF. So I select it, I do a copy. Now I'm going to do a new file, so file new, because I want to place this into my page layout. I need this as a separate graphic. So once I have copied it, notice right here it says clipboard and it has a size right there, or you could look right over here and see 144 by 144 pixels. So fortunately, when you copy something and create a new file, it uses the size of what's in memory as the default here. So that's the size I want. And I want RGB color because it's for the web. So I'm going to say create. Once I get my new file, I'm going to do a command V, paste. There's my logo. I'm going to go up and do a save. Let's see, save on my computer. This is called Acme Video, and so I'm going to say Acme Video Logo. Oops, I misspelled logo. And then I am going to do a GIF file. So there we go, put my extension on it. Then I make sure I'm saving in the right place. I'm working in Project 6 Demo, Acme Videos Images. So I'm going to save it right there. I am going to just stick with the defaults right now and say OK. Okay, so now I have that saved. I can close that. And there's my layout again. Now I'm going to flip back over to Dreamweaver, and I'm ready to insert that. So I'm going to go to split view so I can make sure where I'm at. have that placeholder text right there. I'm going to click down in here, give myself some space. It's at the top of that section. I'm going to insert an image. Good, defaulted to the right place. Acme Video logo. Say open. There it is. And then the one other thing I should make sure I do before I leave this spot is come down here and give it an alt tag. And I'm just going to say Acme Videos. Or is it Acme Video? Either way. The other thing I could do while I'm here is I might want to see link is right here. And a lot of times when you click on your logo, it takes you to your home page. So I might as well go grab my link. Let's see, let's find the right spot. There's the file I'm working on. Let's take a link and point to that index. Now it's going to be a link as well. Okay, so I just wanted to run over that with you real quick. Hope that helps you out.